Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watching for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and our glory. Salaki, bear with me. Giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Malak Yabushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach, Malak Yabushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, married and unmarried. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, and the elect of Israel. Salakia scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And last but not least, shalom to everybody tuning in live, right from Egypt to Israel, Ahaziah and Smile, Don Israel, Mox Nix, Elijah Jones, Lion of Judah, Donnie Stone, Terry Jacobs, shalom, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. WFI late nights, right? Topic of this code is how to please the Lord before time runs out. How to please Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai before time runs out. And time is running out. Time is ticking. Remember, the Mosai said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, right? And when thou seest part of the signs, Salakia, bear with me, right? Bear with me. Salakia. All right, Salakia. I want to be able to share the screen. All right. All right, so they won't let me. It's like I'm having some technical difficulties sharing the screen. All right, but I'm gonna just have to roll without it, right? So that's Satan trying to hinder me from sharing the screen the way I normally do, right? I'm gonna try one more time. If not, like I said, I'm gonna just roll through it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. All right, let's see, share. All right. So, hey, guess what, man? We're still gonna go through it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. So, how to please the Most High? Let's go straight into it. Right. Let's go to 1 Samuel, right, chapter 13 and verse 14. Right. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 13 and 14 because everybody needs to know. Actually, I wanted to go to 2nd Ezra 9, right? 2nd Ezra 9, because the Most High said what? He answered 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So the Most High is commanding us to measure the time. What does it mean, measure the time? It means to be able to analyze how the world is moving and link that directly up to what's written in the scriptures. So you hear about wars, rumors of wars, right? You hear about earthquakes, you hear about famines, you hear about strange signs, for lack of better terms, in the sun and in the moon, right? These are certain things that you have to look at on the earth, rather they're happening in America, rather they're happening in England, South Africa, Brazil, globally. You have to look at what the Most High said would happen, see it happen in the earth, link it in the Bible, and then see what's the next prophecy to follow. That's how you measure the times. And if you have been measuring the times, then surely you would know that these are the last days. Surely you would know that you don't have 200 more years, man. You don't have 1,000 more years. We're not going to be in Babylon the Great for 3,000 years, man. Now, the Most High could do what he want to do, but we know the prophecies, right? We know what's coming to pass. We see where we can kind of gauge where we're at, man. The Lord said, behold, I come quickly, right? And my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So the Lord is coming like a thief in the night. He's coming quickly. And if you're not right with the Most High, if you're not doing what pleases the Most High, and if you don't even know what it takes to please the Most High, how to get right with the Most High before all hell break loose, then you're not going to make it. When I say make it, you're going to be destroyed. And no, none of us want to be. I don't want to be destroyed. We don't want. The Lord hath no pleasure in the death of the wicked. You don't want to be destroyed. We want to do the things that are pleasing to the Most High, right? We want to do what's acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, right? So let's go to 1 Samuel. And some brothers, they know they Israel. Okay, I know I'm an Israelite. Okay, I'm from the tribe of Judah. I'm from the tribe of Levi, Benjamin, right? I'm from the tribe of Reuben, right? We get that. Okay, I got my beard. Okay, I got my fringes, right? Is that all it really takes to please the Most High? Just have your beard and your fringes? Well, I have my staff and I have my mitri and I have a shofar. That's not the limit, man. That's not all it takes to please the Most High. Okay, you said, well, I'm a sister. I got my hair wrapped. Okay, I made unleavened bread for Passover. Okay, and I got my dress on. Is that all it takes to please the Most High? There's women in the world that wear dresses, right? Muslim women wear head wraps. Even for you men, you got men in the world that grow beards out, man. That don't eat pork. What's really going to separate you, right, from the world? What does it really take to please the Most High, right? To get on them, and this is the time you gotta, for lack of better terms, you need to get on the Most High's good side, man. Right? That's what they call winning brownie points, for lack of better terms. Right? You want to get in good graces with Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, because when the Most High really start turning this place upside down, it's over. Right? Let me read on to 2nd Ezra 9. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 2. It reads, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Most High is visiting the world that he made, right? How is the Most High visiting the world? Through judgment, you understand? Through earthquakes, through famines, through disease, through destruction, through seditions, through countries overthrowing their governments, right? Impeachments, assassination attempts. This is the Most High over chariot sightings. The Most High is doing this, man. He is visiting the world that he made. And at any given second, it can hit the fan. All hell could break loose like that. Things can go from, how they are now when, you go to work and, you come home, or, you got your family or whatnot. Things can change like that, man. Right? The Most High could close that door as quickly as he opened it. Right? Let's go right into it. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 13 and 14. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 14. Right? This is what the Lord told Saul. 1 Samuel 13 and 14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh hath sought him a man after his own heart. And the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. Now, this is the Lord telling Saul, hey, look, your kingdom is over. We're going to bring in with David. This will be David, who will come on the scene about 3 chapters later, right? Now, what did the Most High tell Saul? Here's a key point I want. It reads, but now thy kingdom shall not continue. So you could, and Saul was in this thing. Was not Saul anointed, right, by Samuel? Was Saul not chosen to be king? Was Saul not elected? And Saul had things that he did at one time that pleased the Most High. Saul wasn't just always off. Read the earlier account of Saul, man. how he went to war against the Philistines, went to war against the Ammonites, how he slew many people, man. Women made songs about Saul. You know, that Saul wasn't just always just the wicked guy throwing spears at David, but Saul ended up being disobedient. And the Most High told him, your kingdom shall not continue. And that could be spoken to any one of us, man. Peradventure, or God forbid, the Most High comes to any one of us, right, through a dream or, through a vision or through a prophet, says, hey, look, brother Joseph, that's just a name for just an example, right? Nobody in particular, but brother Joseph, hey, look, your kingdom is not going to continue. You're done, right? I'm taking you out the truth. Right? I'm going to put you back in the world. That's essentially what he told Saul, right? Now, what else did he say? It reads, but now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart. And who's the man after the Lord's own heart? David. What does it mean to be a man after the Most High's own heart? Right? Well, to be a man after the Most High's own heart, it means you have to have the mind. You want to think, not that you can actually be on the level of Yahweh, Bashmi Abashai, but the same thing the Most High deems acceptable, the same thing that the Most High is pleased about, the same thing that the Most High finds joy in, the same thing that the Lord hates, the same thing that the Lord displeases. You want to be in tune with every one of those things. That's what it means to be a man after the Most High's own heart, right? You want to do what pleases the Most High. See, Jake, you do this in the world. When there's a woman that you want, right, you do what it takes to get that woman's heart, right? What do? You opening the door, right? You saying sweet nothings. You telling her, what she wants to hear, right? That's what Jake do in the world, man. You buying her this, you taking her out here, right? You're trying to be after her heart, man. Right? Now, in the chance that she may, fall in love with you or like you or you want to marry her, whatever the case may be, Jake go all out in the world, man, to pursue a woman. Oh, I was just thinking about you. Oh, okay, what are you doing? What's your favorite dish? What's your favorite that? Right? Would you do, so Jake, you ask these questions. You try to seek after a woman's own heart, man. And some men are diligent. Some men don't stop, man. They think about this woman all day. They're tossing and turning. They could barely sleep at night. I mean, that's all that's on their mind. David was like that before the Most High. And the Most High saw that, man, because the Most High taps into your mind. And see, in the Most High, he sees through all of the BS. The Most High knows who's really thinking about him, who really wants to serve the Most High, who's really chasing after the Lord, man, who really wants to do what's pleasing to the Most High. The Lord already sees that. David was a man after the Most High's own heart. So David was keeping, let's go to Mark chapter 12. There's a commandment that David was keeping, right? St. Mark chapter 12 and 29. It reads, and Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, right? That's in the Hebrew, Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allahayah Nahu Yahweh Akkad, right? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, right? Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. So some brothers, they violate the first commandment outright, because you don't love the Most High with all your heart. You don't really seek after the Most High. You kind of just, you go through the motions in His truth. You might read a few chapters here, right? You might take a day off. You're not really tapped into the spirit of being consistent when it comes to seeking out what's pleasing to the Most High. And in order to do that, you got to read. You got to look at these accounts and see what these men did, and see when the Most High say, look, he was pleased at this man. His works were found acceptable. And this man, he displeased the Most High. The Lord throws those things in the scriptures here and there, and you got to take note of it, man. That's why it tells you in Baruch, happy are we, O Israel, for the things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. I'm going to read that. Baruch chapter 4 and 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. So we're the only nation that really knows how to please the Most High. No other, the Edomites don't know. Hell no. Right? The Moabites don't know. The Hamites don't know. We're the only ones that know the Most High's favorite body of water, his favorite city, favorite land, favorite flower, favorite bird. You understand? Favorite tree, favorite people, right? We know all of these things, man. But there's more to the Most High to understand about him. And it's written. He tells you what pleases him, what's acceptable in his sight, man. And we have to seek that out diligently. You can't just be a one-dimensional Israelite. And you're just the brother with a beard and your fringes. Now, those are commandments, don't get me wrong, but there are levels to this truth. David was called a man after the Most High's own heart. Do you think David was the only one in that time that was serving the Most High? No. Right? David wasn't the only one serving the Most High, but David was of a different tier, for lack of better terms. He was on a different level. See, you want to be looked at in the eyes of the Most High as being on a different level. David was separated from the pack. He wasn't the only man that served the Most High, right? He wasn't the only one that was diligent at that time. There were plenty of men, right, that David even knew in that life that had the same, if not the same, will to serve the Most High. You had Zadok the priest that was alive, right, during the time of King David. You had Abiathar at one time. You had a lot of men that served the Most High. Right? You had Hushai, and read about David's counsel. But David was of a different level. He was on such a high level that the Most High classified him as a man after his own heart. We have to know how to please the Most High. I would want the Lord, Salaki, I would want the Lord to say that about me. And you should want the Lord to say that about you. Up there in the third heaven, you want the Most High to say, that's a man after my own heart. Not this a guy, I don't know, what are we going to do with this guy? Sometimes he reads, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes, he's in his truth, sometimes he's in the world. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16 and 7. Right? This is the classic. 1 Samuel, chapter 16 and 7. Right? And time is running out. Time is running out. We don't have, years and years, man, to get right. Right? 1 Samuel 16 and 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Right? So the Lord is looking at your heart, man. Meaning your mind, not what's inside of your chest. And when it says he's looking at your heart, he's trying your mind. He sees if you're really sincere, or are you in this thing for views? Are you in this thing for vainglory? Are you in this truth to be seen of men? Right? I mean, while you here, the Lord is looking at that 24/7, and he's taking note of that, man. He's taking note of what brothers are in this truth just to get a woman. Right? What brothers are in here to get a man's wife? What sisters are in here just looking for a husband, looking for a meal ticket, a golden ticket to the kingdom? Who's in this thing for money? Who's really thinking about the world? Who's really looking back? The Most High's watching that 24/7, 24/7, 7 days a week. He's not just looking at the outward appearance, man. He's not looking at the pimple on your face and saying, hey, look, this guy can't make it. He's not looking at you being, 5'4" and saying, nah, this guy is too short. I don't know what I could do with this man. He's looking at your spirit. Is this individual really seeking me out? Or are they kind of half-stepping? Are they keeping the first commandment? Because the first commandment say what? You got to seek the Most High with all of your mind and your heart and your soul. Not half of your mind. Not half your mind in the world, half your mind in the truth. Half your soul is with these demons, and the other half is in the scriptures. Be like our forefathers, man. Be a man after the Most High's own heart. Let's get another one on that. Acts 13 and 22. Right? Just another witness. This is the book of Acts, chapter 13 and 22. I'm going to start at 21. Acts 13 and 21. And afterward, they desired a king. And the Most High gave them Saul, the son of Cis, right, which is really Kish, a man of the tribe of Benjamin, by the space of 40 years. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. Right? And that's what the Lord said about David, man. There's certain men in the Bible, and I'm going to go through these examples, right? I'm going to kind of jump the gun. Certain men like John, Daniel, Noah, Job, Abraham, David, Enoch. Certain men, the Most High mentions these men by name based on how they please the Most High. And this is a pattern that you have to follow and recognize and take the traits that these men did and apply it to your life. This truth is not just, well, it's not about just knowing the in-depth breakdowns. It's not about views. It's not about vainglory. It's not about who's going to be the number one Israelite, who's the master teacher in Israel. It's not about who's the most beautiful sister, who has the most likes, it's not about that. It's about pleasing the Most High. It's about making it out of here, man. And it's about really being sincere and serving the Most High. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 73 and 1. It's about finding favor in the eyes of the Lord, man. Right? Psalms chapter 73 and verse 1. It reads, truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. Let me read that again. Truly the Most High is good to Israel. And he is good to Israel, right? It reads, even to such as are of a clean heart. So the Most High is looking for a brother to have a clean heart and a sister. Right? What does a clean heart mean? That means that's a mind that's sincere, undefiled. That's a mind that's pure, with pure intentions. A mind that really wants to see the Most High's name magnified. A mind that's humble. A mind that's lowly, right? A mind that fears the Most High. That's who the Most High is going to be good to, right? Remember, there's levels to this truth. Everybody's not going to be on the same level. That's why you have the 12 apostles, right? You have the 144,000. You got the rest of the 1/3. There's levels. Nowhere in the history of the creation of the Most High has all man ever been on the same level. Not even in the nation of Israel. Not even amongst the sons of God has all of the sons. Give me the account of when all the sons of God were on the same level. They were never all on the same level. Right? Give me the account when the sons of God became the Hebrews. If you understand what I'm saying, the sons of Eber. When were they all on the same level? No, the Most High chose our fact set. Right? Then the Most High chose Eber out of that line. Then he chose Abraham. He didn't choose Terah or Nahor. Then the Most High chose Isaac. He chose Jacob. He put by Esau. He had the 12 tribes. Out of those sons, he chose Joseph. Out of the so give me the account of all Israel being all equal at any given time. It never happened. There is levels to this truth. There are men that truly are going to be on a different level than other men. Same thing with the women, because of their intentions and their spirit and their election that the Most High has given them. The Most High said he giveth more grace to the humble. Certain people get more grace. It's just the way it is. David had, they call it, the scriptures call it the sure mercies of David. David did a sin worthy unto death. He's supposed to get killed for committing adultery. Right? But what happened? The Most High forgave him for that. Well, did he do that for everybody? No, he didn't. It just don't happen. Certain men receive grace. They're highly favored. right? Because these men or women, they diligently seek after the Lord's heart. They have a clean heart, and the Most High sees that and gives them that favor and that grace. All right, let's go to the book of John. Actually, let's go to Philemon. It's like your Philippians. That's what I want. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 10. Right? Philippians chapter 1 and 10. It reads, I'll start at 9. Philippians chapter 1 and 9. And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment, that ye may approve things that are excellent, that ye may be sincere and without offense till the day of Hamashiach. So verse 10 says that ye may approve things that are excellent, that ye may be sincere. And that's another thing brothers have to ask yourself, are you sincere? Right? What are your motives in this truth? Because time is running out, man. And the Most High is about to weed out everybody that's not sincere. The Lord said judgment in 1 Peter chapter 4, that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So we always talk about the nations and their judgment and the missiles and slavery, and we speak of these things often, as we should, right? But we have to remember that when the hammer really comes down first, who's it coming at? It's coming at Israel. Judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High. And the Lord said, if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? That's written. So when that hammer comes down, it's coming at us first. And the Most High is going to weed out, right, all things in this kingdom that offend and them that do iniquity, right? That's what's going to happen. That's written. So again, you want to be a sincere Israelite. And that's a spirit that you constantly want to beg the Most High for, right? That the Most High give you a sincere heart, man. Right? That the Most High give you a sincere spirit. Because at any time, a demon can hop on you. Right? A proud demon, a vain demon, right? A damn can't take correction demon, ulterior motive, preeminence demon. These demons can hop on you. Right? So you definitely want to stay in prayer that the Most High gives you a sincere spirit. Right? And the Most High is going to build that person up because their intentions are pure. They really want to serve the Most High. They really want this place to be destroyed. They really want Yahweh's name to be magnified. There are men actually like that. And there are men in this truth who want to just be the next big rap star. They have they're not thinking about the Most High's name. They're not thinking about Yahweh Shai. They just want to be the next big rap star. They couldn't really make it in the world. They tried to get signed to this record label, and it really didn't work out like that. And, they put a few mixtapes out and nobody really bought them. So, they found out about this Israelite thing, and, they want to kind of make a name for themselves. So they kind of put some fringes on, or they got the border blue, and, they made an Instagram, and they bought a whole bunch of followers, and they kind of dropped their album, and they want people to kind of just listen. Some people just want to make a name so they can kind of build up and then kind of transition into the world. I know men that's actually happened to. Right? You got people in this truth just looking to get married. They just in this truth looking for sex, man. I'm just be outright and say it. They just looking for a husband. I heard that them Hebrew Israelite men can't leave me, right? I heard they can't put me away. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get me one of them. Oh, and I heard they gotta take care of me too. She's not thinking about serving the Most High. She's looking for a what do they call? She's that kind of sister's looking for a handout, man. Right? A ticket, a meal ticket. I believe that's the terminology. She's just looking for a meal ticket. Well, I heard them Hebrew Israelite, man. And she might pick up a few scriptures just to, deceive the simple. She might learn Shalom, and she might know Deuteronomy 20. She might pick up some stuff, but then if you simple, you're gonna fall for it. Right? Yeah, that's right. K Paradise. That's what that Eve said, right? She said, "I need a." I believe she said, "I need a Hebrew Israelite man." I don't know if she said to protect me or, whatever she said, right? But you're gonna have women like that, and you're gonna have men like that, man. Or I heard them Hebrew Israelite women gotta cook and they clean, and I'm sick of these worldly women that they're the whores that they in the club. I gotta find me one of them Hebrew Israelite women. I heard they gotta submit to you. I heard they gotta listen to you. Then you got Jake that coming to the truth. They got like 4 wives. They sitting around playing a video game, smoking a blunt, and talking about I'm an Israelite, man. And they got their wives out working, one at McDonald's, the other one work at Big Boy, the other one work at Denny's, then the other one work at damn In and Out, man. And they just sitting around playing a video game. I'm an Israelite, Kwame Ashala. I watch y'all all the time. So everybody's not sincere, right? Philippians 1:10. That ye may approve things that are excellent. That ye may be sincere and without offense till the day of Hamashiach. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 139 and 23. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 139. Slakia and verse 23. Right? It reads, search me, O God. Slakia. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. And that's sincere right there. Right? That's humble. That's humility right there. David said, search me, O God, and know my heart, man. Because David was confident in the spirit that he was serving the Most High for the right reason. And you can see that through David's works. Nobody told David to build a temple. Right? I mean, that was in David's heart to do that. And that's how you know somebody that's even in the so-called workplace, right? The average worker compared to somebody that stands out. Somebody that stands out, they go above and beyond. They have ideas, they're innovative, they're engaged, they're motivated, they're driven, right? And then you got the guy who just kind of shows up to get the check. Right? You got the guy that kind of just show up, he got his hands in his pocket, he take his phone out, you got to kind of tell this guy what to do, and pick this up and put that down, and he won't do nothing unless you tell him. Then you got the guy that go above and beyond. David is the above and beyond kind of man. He okay, I got my fringes, got my beard, like I always say. What more can I do? That was David. So I want to build the Lord a temple. There's no account of the Most High. He even told David, I never told you to do that. That was never my thing. But that was in David's mind. And you have to ask yourself, well, what's in your mind? What are you thinking about going above and beyond to serve the Most High? Or are you just doing the bare minimum? Okay, Dad, you prayed 3 times a day. Okay, I'm going to just pray 3 times a day. Okay, I know that I got the fringes. Okay, I grew my beard out. Okay, I don't eat pork. All right, I'm ready for the kingdom. Right? I'm ready for the kingdom of heaven. Right? Like you gotta have that spirit. Okay, what more can I do? Because the Most High is looking at that. Say, wow, look at that. That brother, he's standing out. Right? He's going above and beyond. And our fourth, those men that are elect, they went above and beyond. Nehemiah went above and beyond. Ezra went above and beyond. The Apostle Paul went above and beyond. David, above and beyond. There are certain men who want to serve the Most High so much, they're going the extra mile. Because they want the Most High's name to be glorified, man. So you got the average bare Israelite, right? And then you got the brothers and the sisters that go above and beyond because they're excited. They love this truth. They're into this thing. They have a passion, right? They're driven, right? And like I said, there's 2 types of Israelites. Like I said, you got the average bear, even Jake, right? Okay, it's the Shabbat. They just shuffling their feet. They kind of just going through the motions, and then you got the brothers and the sisters. What more can I do? Right? What else can I do? Yahweh Bashmi Abashai, show me what else I can do. How can I please you? How can I serve you? Right? So, there, and we're going to go through different examples. There's kind of, like I said, there's levels to this truth, man. So David says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me. And that's something you can ask the Most High. That's not just relegated to David. What does it only say? Okay, only David can do that. Okay, only David can ask the Most High to see if there's any wicked way in him. No, that we can all do that. Well, when do I start next? You can start tonight. You can start today. Ask the Most High, search me and see if there's any wicked way in me, man. Show me my sins. That's going above and beyond. What more can ask the Most High? What more can I do to magnify your name? That's going above and beyond. How much more can I please you? Asking the Most High to remove the wicked thoughts and the wicked ways from you. See, these things are outside the Torah, right? They're outside of the book of Leviticus. Like I'm going to keep saying, there's more to the truth than the dietary law, right? There's more than the truth than just keeping the Sabbath. We're not nobody's disannulling or disregarding or downplaying those commandments by any means. But again, there's more to the truth. There's more to pleasing the Most High than just what's written in the first 5 books of the Bible. And if you're into this thing, right, then you're going to pay attention to these what they call little things, right? What's written here in Psalms. Okay, what David did. You're going to be very, very, very meticulous about what our forefathers did and look at it and say, okay, I can see how the Most High he was pleased with that man because he did A, B, and C. I see that, right? I'm going to apply that in my life. They're going to look and say, hold on, man, this guy wasn't right. The Most High, judged this man for doing this. Let me make sure I'm not doing that, right? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 8 and 28, right? Let's go to John, chapter 8 and verse 28. It reads, then said Yahushua unto them, when ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then ye shall know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. Here's the point in verse 29. And he that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. Now, what did Yahushua say? Yahushua said, for I do always, not sometimes, not once a week, not twice a month, right? Not 5 times in a day. He said, I do always those things that please him. And that's the level we want to get to. We know we're in these fleshly bodies. We know we have a corrupt mind with sin embedded in us, as coming from the offshoot of Adam. Nevertheless, what's stopping you from having that level of mentality, that mentality, or trying to get to that level of saying, hey, I do always those things that please him? Huh? Can any man say that? Probably not. Yahushua can say that because he's without sin. But that's the level we want to obtain unto. A man that really wants to please the Most High, he's looking at that. He's saying, I need to get there. How can I get there? As much as I can in my fleshly body. Before time runs out, how can I get as close as I can where I can say, I do always those things that please him? Whether you was just lusting after this nasty woman. So you can't say that, man. Even you was just backbiting and gossiping. So you can't say that right now. You just disrespecting your husband. You can't say that right now. Hey, brother, you're an infidel. You're not providing for your household. You can't say that right now. We want to be on that level where we can obtain and say, I do always those things that please him. Bro. Give me the account of Yahushua doing something that displeased the Most High. Where's the scripture? Where is that at? Where it says, and the Lord was wroth with Yahushua. When? Right, and Yahushua did that which made the Most High anger wax hot. No, Yahweh Shah said it confident. I do always the things that please him. And that's something we have to ask ourselves. How come we're not always doing the things that please him? And what's stopping us from doing that, man? Is it that woman you keep dealing with, man? Is it them nasty sites and things you're following on social media? Is it pride? Right? Is it a lack of humility? Right? We have to examine ourselves so we can get on that level. The topic of this code is how to please the Lord before time run out. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. We don't have all day. Right? The Lord said, make no tearing to turn to the Lord and put not off from day to day. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5, 4-7 on down. Right? Let's move on. Let's go to the book of let's go to Psalms chapter 15 and 1. Right? Let's kind of get a little bit more specific. Psalms chapter 15 and verse 1. Right? Like WFILA said in Matthew 18, 1 and 18 on down, the Most High said that he is well pleased with Yahweh Shai. You see that? And we want to be spoken of in the same fashion. Psalm chapter 15 and 1. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? And who shall dwell in thy holy hill? And that's the question. So pretty much the question is, what type of people or type of Israelites are going to get the kingdom? That's what David is putting out there. What type of people are going to make it? What type of people please the Most High? What are the characteristics of an Israelite that pleases the Lord and that's going to dwell in the Lord's holy hill, which is Jerusalem? That's what it's talking about. So I'm going to read it again. Yahweh, right, Bashem Yahweh Shai, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? So as I read from verse 2 on down, everything we read, you examine yourself and say, am I doing that? Because these are the people that please the Most High. Those that exhibit these characteristics. Verse 2, he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. So that's the first trait, right? Walking uprightly, meaning not going off willfully into sin and into the world, not entertaining these demons and walking in the crooked path, right? And walking in the shadow of darkness, right? It says, he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness. Working righteousness is what? Keeping the commandments, right? Going into the law, right? Reading and studying and applying the scriptures and speaketh the truth in his heart. So men that make it, they're going to speak the truth in their heart, right? Verse 2, he that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. So the Lord tell you what displeases him. Backbiting. What is a backbiter? A backbiter is somebody who's like it talks behind your back, right? They playing roles, what they say, or they playing the 50, whatever terminology you're familiar with. That's what it means. Brother Joe, he comes in my face and says, Shalom, Joe, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Barakatham. How you feeling? Hey man, you was mighty. Hey man, brother, you on fire, you diligent. Brother leave. 2 seconds later, I'm talking to brother, brother Gabar saying, man, this brother Joe is off, man. This brother's off. I mean, he's just wicked. He stink. He's not going to make. That's off. That's backbiting, right? So backbiting again is talking about a brother behind your back, right? Now, if you're a backbiter, we got to get rid of that. If that's something that's in our spirit, we got to get rid of that, man. Are you a backbiter? Are you the type of person that talks about people behind their back? Now, you can be honest with yourself. You say, yeah, okay, that's me. Well, that's where repentance comes in. Acknowledging that sin and turning away from it. But if you say, well, I ain't a backbiter, and you are a backbiter, then you're not going to make it. Because these are the people that please the Most High. These are the people that are going to dwell in the tabernacle in his holy hill. Right? Verse 4. Psalms 15 and 4. In whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. So another trait of somebody that pleases the Most High is they're going to look at a vile person, meaning a wicked person, and contemn that person. Meaning what? They're not going to be around people of the world and accept their behavior. They're going to look at evil behavior and sin and it's going to be frowned upon. It's going to become a reproach unto them. And you have to ask yourself, is that a type of mentality that you have when you see worldly things and things of sin? Do you entertain it? Or do you think it's funny? Do you accept it? Do you make light of it? And if you make light of lewdness, lust, sex, when I say sex, I'm speaking fornication, drunkenness. If you make light of these things, then that's where repentance comes in. David said, "And whose eyes a vile person is contemned." Right? That's why there's levels to this, because that's the spirit that you want to have. When you see worldly wicked behavior and you don't entertain it. And some Jake, you get peer pressured. Everybody else is entertaining it. You kind of want to be with the in crowd, and you don't want to speak up. But guess what, man? You should be contemning these things. It says, "He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved." So not taking bribes, not being a respected persons, right? All of these things are beautiful traits for somebody that pleases the Most High, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 26 and 1, right? Psalms chapter 26 and 1. It reads, "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide." And integrity is another trait that the Most High looks at, right? Even Job speaks of integrity. And they always have that definition of integrity in the world is how you conduct yourself when nobody's looking. Because some people, they feign themselves to be righteous when other men are around, right? They'll talk about the Bible. They'll speak of holy things. They'll, wear their fringes, that they'll act as if they're, righteous. And this is deep in their spirit. But, the whole time they only do this when people are around, right? I mean, and you got sisters like that too. They only act righteous and shalom. And meanwhile, they giving their husband hell, children all out of order, house a mess, and they backbiting. But then they come around sisters, and now they're the Proverbs 31 woman. Now everybody's Judith and Esther. Everybody's not Judith and Esther. That's why there was only one Judith and one Esther. Nevertheless, the Most High is telling you that you have to walk with your integrity. You have to serve the Most High with the same spirit when you by yourself and you dealing with temptation, and when demons try to get to you. You have to serve the Most High when nobody's around, and serve the Most High when people are around. Having integrity is having honor, right? Doing what's right and nobody has to know about it. Examining yourself is having integrity. Examining how you deal with individuals, how you pray, right? If you're fasting, if you're studying, if you're really serving the Most High, that's having integrity, right? David said, "Try me, see if I'm walking in integrity." I'm going to jump down to verse 4. I'm going to start at 3. "For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked." And again, what was David? A man after the Most High's own heart. A man after the Lord's own heart. And you see what kind of mentality David had. To be a man after the Most High's own heart, you can't sit with vain persons. You can't hang around Rel from the world. And if you're Eve, you can't hang around Rochelle and Tamika and Keisha. You can't walk to the corner store with Tamika and Rochelle and buy a damn pack of God knows what, man. And Jake, you can't sit in that back seat of that car or those men up front are passing you know what around, man. You have to not sit with vain persons to be on a level drawn nigh to the Most High. Because the Most High demands perfection. I mean, what sense does it make for you to be in this truth and you're sitting with vain persons, right? You're laughing at lewd jokes, right? You know, you're talking about birthdays and things that you want to do. That makes no sense, man. David said, I've hated the congregation of evildoers. So again, being a man after the Most High's own heart is you hate what the Most High hate. You got to really hate the congregation of evildoers. So, like I said, some people take light of it. It's not that bad, right? I'm around all my cousins. They doing God knows what, but I mean, I'm the light. I'm a light to them, right? Yahweh Shah hung around publicans and sinners, right? You're not Yahweh Shah. You don't know what was in Yahweh Shah's mind why he did that, man. And Yahweh Shah was teaching them, not entertaining them, right? So you have to hate these things. It reads, I will wash mine hands in innocency, so will I compass thine altar, O Lord. Right? So David had a spirit of integrity. A spirit of integrity. So sincerity, integrity, these are things that you want to kind of look for, right? Let's get an example. Let's go to Genesis of a man that was also like David when it came to serving the Most High, a man that pleased the Lord. This is Genesis chapter 39 and verse 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Now, this after David, it's like after Joseph was falsely accused of committing adultery, right? So Pharaoh took him and threw him in prison. Well, here's what happened to him. But Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. It says, but the Lord was with Joseph. Now, did the Most High come to Joseph and say, I am with you? There's no account of that. There's no account of Most High coming to Joseph saying, hey, I'm with you. We know that the Lord is telling us that he was with Joseph. Right? It's the Lord. Would the Lord say that about you? I'm with this person. Right? Or is he going to say, look, man, this person, man, they just keep going off. They never take correction, right? They're not sincere. They're not really seeking after my own heart. What is the Most High's thoughts towards you? You're not the only one with thoughts. The Most High has thoughts. The Most High has a mind. How does the Most High feel about you, man? Now, you would never know. But if you're willfully going the hell off, then you could probably make a good estimate on how the Most High is looking at you, man. If you're just willingly just freaking off, you know that the Most High is displeased at you, man. The Most High hates sin. He hates sinners. Now, we know we all fall short, but if you're willfully just going off, the Most High laid it down to you, man. This is not Christianity. Where the Most High loves everybody. He just loves all his creation. This is not the church. We have to take that church mentality out of the truth. We have to take the church mentality out of the truth where everybody that's in the truth, that's an Israelite, everybody's going to make it, and the Lord is dealing with everybody on the same way. It's just not, that's not the Most High. Again, there's no account of the Most High dealing with every Israelite the same way at any given time. Right? Now, the Most High said he was with Joseph. It reads, and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And we want to be on that level where the Most High is with us. And the Most High gives us favor. And the Most High gives us mercy. Because Joseph did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, man. He didn't commit adultery. He fought the temptation, and the Lord was with him because of that, man. Right? He dealt with long suffering for being sold into slavery, betrayed by his brothers, slandered, lied against. You understand? Dealt with them captivity, and he endured. And he was patient when he was brought to a lower state. Don't think Joseph was just the guy having dreams. He's okay. That's the guy who had dreams. No, he dealt with Joseph. Had a tough life, man. You know, and he endured those hardships. That's called long suffering, right? And being patient when you're changed to a lower state, right? And in glory and tribulation, these are the things that Joseph did, and he still denied sin, right? And fought temptation while he was in the lower state. And what did the Most High do? The Most High gave him favor, right? And you have testimonies of situations, right, that you may have been in where the Most High delivered you from a situation. And you have to think about those accounts, man. It could have been, a legal situation. It could have been a so-called financial or job situation. It could have been a health situation. Could have been a family or marital situation. And most people, and it's truth, you have testimonies that you can give where the Most High gave you favor. Maybe you got that so-called job that you was praying for. Maybe, you kind of got pulled over and you wasn't right, but, the Lord kind of let you go, right? Maybe you was in a bind or in a bond somewhere and you were at your wit's end, but the Most High made a way. And you have to recall those accounts. And that's you getting favor with the Most High. That's the Lord being with you. So the Lord can be with you, but the Lord can also leave you. And God forbid the Lord leaves you, man. Because there are also times that you may recall where you went off and you were judged. Or the Most High laid the hammer down, put the verdict up, huh? For what to happen to you. Because you went off. Right? So you know what pleases the Most High. You have done certain things that please the Most High. And you have to examine yourself and recall those things and the things our fathers have done, like Joseph, like we read about David, and certain men, and apply these things to your life, man. Right? Let me read that again. Actually, I'll move on to the next precept. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 3 and 2. Right? So we're going into different examples of our forefathers that did things that pleased the Most High. And you have to look at these accounts and say, I don't do that one. Maybe I could do that, right? Okay, I need to work on this. Okay, I need to examine myself here. These are different things that we want to apply. The Lord said in Romans chapter 15 and 4, and whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 3. It reads, and Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. And that's a lot, man. 1,000 burnt offerings. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and the Most High said, ask, what shall I give thee? And what about the average Israelite, man? The Most High asked him, asking, what shall I give thee? What would a brother say? Give me that job. I want to make 125K a year. Give me that woman. She's an Ephraimite. I've always wanted an Ephraimite. I need a new car. My car is from 2001. I want a 2023. Lord, give me all of the wisdom that I can confound all these brothers in these different camps. You got evil, Lord. Give me hips. Right? Give me small hands. Vanity, man. Vain things. Vain. Imagine the Lord said, ask, what shall I give thee? Yeah, the brother said the Most High might ask for three more. Yeah, that's carnal, right? You might ask for three more wishes, man. Most High's not dealing with wishes, and this is a test. He said, "Ask, what shall I give thee?" What kind of spirit did Solomon have? Right? It reads, so Solomon prayed for wisdom for a discerning heart. So I'm gonna jump down and see. I'm gonna read verse 8, First Kings chapter 3 and 8. It reads, and thy servant is in the midst of the people of thy people, Salakia, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor accounted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? So Solomon prayed for a discerning heart. They can judge the people, right? And the speech pleased. That's the word I want. Please, right? It says in First Kings chapter 3 and 10, and the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked for this thing. Huh? You see that? Now, the Lord put that in the scriptures for our learning, man. Because he didn't go to Solomon and say, hey, look, you pleased me with that. Right? Hey, that was all right, man. No, it just tells you for our learning that pleased the Most High. And what does that go into? That goes into even in your prayer requests, man. So even in your prayers, you can please the Most High. You can do something that the average, and it has to be sincere. That's why we cover sincerity, right? You might be praying, and you might have a prayer where you don't do the exact thing that everybody else does, right? So warn the people, 441, you please the Lord by teaching the correct doctrine. The MOTB is the microchip. Or we'll warn the people, just keep watching, right? Just keep watching, right? You tuned in for a reason, right? So stay tuned in. Now, again, you want to have that spirit where you're not praying for vanity, right? Because even in your prayers, you could displease the Most High. If all you do is pray about, me, and Lord, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get this? Give me this and give me that and give me that. Then that's not pleasing the Most High, right? That's not pleasing the Lord, man. Right? The Lord is not dealing with the brother who just prays for materialistic things all day. The Most High is not a genie. He's not where you can just, okay, I want this. Okay, Lord, I want a new car. Okay, and then, Lord, I want pancakes for breakfast. The Most High, he wants you to really, and you should really want to analyze and examine how you're praying, right? Because you may pray for something and it could really please the Most High, man. I'm not going to give any examples, or it got to be in you. And maybe that's something you ask the Most High to help you strengthen in your prayers, man. Because you never really know how the Most High may regard your prayers, right? You never really may know, man. And there are certain things our forefathers did that kind of just stood out a little bit due to the intentions and the spirit that they had. Not every king would ask for a discerning heart, right? Not every person would ask for a discerning heart. How many people that even in the world where they said, man, if you could have one wish, if you could do this, you think any of them ever wished for or thought about a discerning heart? No, not one of them. Right? To judge the people. And this was about love. It wasn't about wisdom to confound anybody or to get on Esau or to show off what this was about loving his people. That's why I said that I may judge thy people. This is the Lord's flock. I'm responsible for it. Lord, give me wisdom that I can teach and guide the flock and the people whom you have given me. And that was honorable in the eyes of the Lord, man. Right? You want to do what's honorable in the sight of the Most High, because that speech, it pleased the Lord. Let's go to Luke chapter 18 and 10. So these are just different examples that men did that pleased the Most High. Right? Luke chapter 18 and verse 10. It reads, 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. So we know Pharisees were teachers of the law, right? Just keeping it short and sweet. And the publican is a tax collector. All right. The fair and Jake, and really the publican was somebody that was hated, right? A lot of Jews at that time, when they found out that brothers were publicans, they were kind of ostracized, or they were put on the back burner because they thought that these men sold out and that they had the allegiance to the so-called white man, right? Jake don't like the IRS, right? I mean, that's what it is. They don't like tax collectors. They don't like debt collectors and people blowing their phone up and, you know what I'm saying, playing all these damn games, man. So that's how these publicans were looked at in the ancient world. But let's read on. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as his publican. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. So he's boasting about himself. What did the Most High say? Pray and thank the Most High that you're not like everybody else. So here's another example of even how the Most High is looking at your prayers. Like I said, he's not just looking at your fringes. He's looking at how you pray, your thoughts, if you have a clean heart, right? Your speech. There are things that are going to separate you, right? And separate. Now, the Most High said that when you read this account, this is not a good account. When I say this is not a good account, this is not good behavior from this Pharisee to boast about your works. So if that's something that you're doing, you got to stop that. Talking about I fast twice a week, Lord. I read 10 chapters today. Lord, you see me? Hey, Lord, watch this. Hey, Lord, I'm turning the page. The Lord don't care about all of that, man. That's not sincere. Right? Let's read on. And he was standing up praying and just boasting. But what did the publican do? Luke 18:13. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. So that's humble. Humility is honored in the eyes of the Most High. Right? So he had his head down, man. See, some people kind of pray like this. Lord, you know what I was thinking? This job, man, it big money. And they just talking to the Lord like he, railed from the block. And the Most High is looking at you, man. And he's not pleased with that. You can't talk to the Most High like he's Rel, Tony, Devontae. Even in your prayers, man. Some men pray with their face towards the ground. Right? Hey, this man, he smote upon his chest as a sign of affliction, and that he's nothing, at dust and ashes. And he didn't ask for anything. So you don't have to, in your prayers, always ask for something. Right? You don't have to, Lord, can I get this? I need it. And he just said, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And the Most High, he was pleased with that. That pleased the Lord. That this man didn't always ask. He didn't ask for anything. He just begged for mercy because he's a sinner. That's humility. And the Most High deals with the humble. He deals with the meek. And he deals with the lowly. The Most High, he always deals with the lowly, man. Always the humble. Moses was humble. Right? Our King Yahushua was humble. David was humble. Right? This man was humble. So humility and being humble is also a beautiful spirit to have to please the Most High. Because the Lord hates the proud. How many times do we have to go into the scriptures? Or how many times have you read where the Most High hates the proud? These 6 things that the Lord hates, these 7 are an abomination to him. Proud look. Lord, kick it off with a proud look. Right? Lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, feet that be swift to run into mischief. Right? A false witness that speaketh lies. Right? He that soweth discord among his brother. Right? The Most High gives you the account, but he starts off with a proud look. Right? So I'm going to read on about this man and his prayer. Luke 18:14. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. So you want to humble yourself too in these days, man. Time is running out, and the Lord is not delivering a proud Israelite who can't be corrected, who wants the preeminence, who feels as though they are, the number one Israelite in the earth, that they're above and beyond any form of rebuke or reproof, right? And that they're just high and mighty, due maybe to longevity or knowledge that puffed them up or whatever. The Most High is looking for the lowly. And you want to pray to Yahweh that he gives you a meek and a humble spirit, and that he removes pride far from you, right? Let's get another precept. Let's go to Psalm chapter 69 and verse 30, right? So you want to know how to please the Most High in the last days. Psalms chapter 69 and verse 30. It reads, I will praise the name of the Most High with a song and will magnify him with thanksgiving. This also shall please the Lord, better than an ox or a bullock that hath horn and hooves. I'm going to read this again. This Psalm chapter 69 and 30. I will praise the name of the Most High with a song and will magnify him with thanksgiving. This also shall please the Lord, better than an ox or a bullock that hath horns and hooves. The humble shall see this and be glad, and your heart shall live that seek the Most High. So what did the Lord say that pleases him? This is something you got to pay attention to. You can't just read that and okay, all right, yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, I'm moving on. No, you got, hey, look, oh, that pleased the Most High? Okay, what was that? I will praise the name of the Most High with the song and will magnify him with thanksgiving. This also shall please the Lord, better than what animal sacrifice. You got to take that into consideration, right? How often do you praise the name of the Most High? How often do you speak about the Most High? Out of what? 24 hours in a day, right? How often are you speaking about the Most High? How often are you talking about his works? How often are you glorifying his name? I mean, really think about it. The 24 hours of your day, how many minutes throughout the day are you really talking about the Most High's works? And I'm not talking about just praying, and I'm talking about you may be talking to maybe your wife, maybe your children, right? Maybe a brother, maybe you're just praising the Most High. Maybe you're just magnifying him with thanksgiving. Let's say you pray 5 times a day. Within those prayers, how many of those prayers are you just strictly thanking the Most High? Or is every prayer you always asking for something? Right? You always just add, Lord, can I get this? And I want that. And there's no sin in making a petition to the Most High. But the Lord just told you, he just told you what pleases him. I'm going to read it one more time. I will praise the name of the Most High with the song. And there's no sin in making a song to the Most High. Yeah, brothers saying, well, this, I thought that was Christian. I thought, that's praise dancing, or not praise that, praise music. Thought that was Christianity. I don't sing a song. I'm a warrior, right? I'm a man. I'm a mighty man of the Lord. I don't make songs to no man, right? Well, hold on, brother. What are you talking about, brother? David played the harp. David made songs where he praised the Most High, right? Even Paul said you have a melody, a song to the Most High. The Lord likes that, man. He told you he likes that. So why not do it? And it gotta be sincere. And it gotta be something in the spirit, right? And I got songs that we make, or I make with my children, man. With the young ones. Be about this, maybe about David, it may be about this person through the spirit, it may be about, or something that you kind of just got on your own, man. Maybe you kind of drive and you got a song you want to sing to the Most High, and you want to praise the Most High, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. Because the Most High told you, hey, look, he loves that. So why not do what pleases the Most High? What's stopping you? Right? What's stop? Well, I'm a mighty man. Well, So show me where I got to do that. Show me in the law. Right? You're going to have that kind of bro. Show me in the law where I got to do that. I'm a man of the Lord. I don't really, I'm big and strong. Right? I don't do that stuff, man. I just get on Esau all day. Right? Where the Edomites at? Where the Moabites? Right? Don't be the brother just lusting after where the Edomites and the Moabites at. So you can just read Revelation chapter 13, 9, and 10 to them all day, man. Right? Where's the Ammonites? So, that's something you want to kind of get into as well. Right? I'm going to read it one more time. Because the point I want to touch on is verse 32. So this Psalm 69 to 30. I will praise the name of the Most High with the song. So the name of the Most High is Yahweh. Right? His son name's Yahweh Shai. And you got to know that. And I will magnify him with thanksgiving. So you magnify the Most High with thanksgiving, man. Right? The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All praise, and brothers do that all the time. All praise to the Most High. Right? You do that, you may not even know it. Every time you say all praise to the Most High, you're magnifying the Lord. Every time you say call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It reads, this also shall please the Lord better than an ox or a bullock that hath horns and hooves. And it's not saying the Most High don't like animal sacrifice in the ancient world. The Lord loves a sweet savor, but he loves something better than that. Right? Like you may have favorites, right? Your favorite dish might be, or you might like chicken. I'll just give that as an example. But then you might really like lamb. Lamb might please you more than some chicken, right? That's just a carnal example. Now, you won't be disappointed if you get the chicken. Hey, look, you take it, man. You do your thing. But when you get that lamb, it's on a whole nother level. So the Most High said it doesn't say he's displeased with animal sacrifice. And this precept right here, right? There's no sin in offering. We read Solomon offered 1,000. What did the Most High say? Don't do that in that account. It didn't say that. But what did he mention that pleases him? Right? Hold on, let me. Right? Ban somebody. Well, what did the Most High say that pleases him? He told you straight up. Magnify him with thanksgiving and making a song to the Most High. And that's something brothers can actually do, man. These are all beautiful accounts of Joseph, right? The brother and Luke going in Luke 18, right? David, right? These are beautiful accounts. And that's why these men are documented in the scriptures for a reason. These men, they're not just regular guys, man. For your name to be mentioned as a name in a book in the Bible and to have some penmanship, right, and authority to write things in the Bible, that you know what that means about you, man? For the Most High to choose you to write particular chapters, men like David, Moses, right, Paul, the apostles, Ezra, Jeremiah, Isaiah. What type of man do you have to be to have a book in the Bible named after you? I mean, you're on a whole nother level. Ezekiel, Jeremiah. I mean, just really think about your forefathers. Really think about it. Don't just say, okay, I'm in the book of Jeremiah. Think about read about this man. Look at him, man. And see what he did, man. That pleases the Lord. Read about your foremothers. How many women are really Israelite women are in the Bible with books named after them? Right? You got Sister Susanna. You got Judith. You got Esther. Right? They're those Israelite sisters. Now, what kind of women were they? How many women did the Most High make? You don't know. But there are 3 Israelite women in the Holy Bible with books named after them. So they're on a whole nother level. There are levels to this. Even Mary was called highly favored. The Lord came to Mary and said, you are highly favored. Would the Lord come to you and say these things? You never know. Would the Lord come to you and say, hey, look, blessed art thou, you are highly favored? Or would the Lord say, why haven't you been reading? Why do you disobey your husband? Why do you always have something to say? Right? Why are you slothful? Would the Lord come to you and say those things, or would he say, okay, look, why, you're highly favored? You got to think about these things. We got to do really above and beyond what pleases the Most High. What did Judith and Esther do that pleased the Most High? Right? The Proverbs 31 woman. Right? That's an actual account of a righteous woman. It's not a fairy tale. Now her name isn't mentioned. Nevertheless, those are beautiful attributes of a sister. Right? And the Lord, that's perfection. When you read that chapter, right? Now you can say, well, I don't read Proverbs 31, right? Yeah, I'm a woman. I only read about, I only want the in-depth breakdowns. Well, sister, you got to get right. I don't want to get right, right? I want to read Revelation. Okay, well, you can read Revelation, right? That's fine. But you better get this. You better learn, figure out what's important for your salvation, right? Time is running out. That's why we're going into this. How to please the Lord before time runs out. Time is ticking. Just like that, all hell could break loose, right? Verse 32, that's what I really wanted this. The humble shall see this and be glad, and your heart shall live that seek the Most High. So there are men that are going to seek after the Lord. Let's go to Psalms chapter 10 and 4. Right? Psalms chapter 10 and verse 4. It reads, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Right? So you have certain men that don't seek after the Most High. How do you seek after the Lord? Does that mean take a rocket ship and try to break the firmament and go through the waters and go? No. How do you really seek after the Most High? Well, where do you find the Lord? Let's go to Song of Solomon chapter 6. Are you really seeking after the Lord? This is Song of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 1. Whither is thy beloved gone, O thou fairest among women? Whither is thy beloved turned aside, that we may seek him with thee? So the question is, where do we find Yahweh Shai? Here's the answer. Verse 2. My beloved is going down into his garden, to the bed of spices, to feed in the gardens, and to gather lilies. So where do you want to find Yahweh Shai in the garden? Now, the garden, parabolically, in this breakdown or this chapter, is speaking about the scriptures. So if you want to find the Lord, there's no better place to find the Lord, right, than the Bible, than these scriptures, right? Now, this Bible's all beat down and battle tested. Nevertheless, the Lord is here, right? The Lord is not, the Lord said, who hath to ascend up to heaven to bring the Lord down, or who has to bring him up from the deep, paraphrasing. The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth. That is the word of faith, which we preach. So the Lord is right here. If you're seeking after the Most High, that's where you find him. So how do you seek after the Most High? By reading, by meditating in the word, right? That's how you seek after the Lord. All right. So let's move on. Let's go to the book of, actually, I want to go back to Psalms chapter 10, because there was a part of that precept that I wanted. Psalms chapter 10 and 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. So the wicked, they don't seek it. They're not thinking about the Most High consistently, right? A man that wants to please the Most High, he's always thinking about the Lord, right? He's always thinking about what the Most High likes, what the Most High dislikes. What can I do better to magnify the Most High, right? It's the Lord, he's thinking about the Most High's omnipotency, right? A man that fears the Lord, he's always in his mind like, man, the Lord is watching. The Lord is here, right? I have to move uprightly. I have to fear the Most High. That's a man that's really thinking about the Most High. All right, let's get another one. Let's go to the book of, I got a few more. Let's go to Psalms chapter 147 and verse 1. Right? Psalms chapter 147 and verse 1. And really, you want to have that spirit where you could feel the presence of the Most High, right? And sometimes you're really in a spirit, you can feel the presence of the Lord, right? You can feel the Lord drawing nigh unto you. Now, there's no, physical proof to explain and prove. It's just it's a spirit. It's the spirit. If anybody that can attest to you feel when the Most High is nigh unto you, and you can feel when the Most High is pushing away from you. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you went the hell off. You don't feel close to the Most High. You feel like the Lord is distant, right? I feel like the Lord is kind of far off. Then there are times when you're fasting or you're praying and you have a contrite spirit and you're really into this thing and you're being diligent and you're consistent. And you feel the Lord drawing nigh into you, right? Like I said, I can't prove it. I don't have video footage of the Lord drawing nigh into you. I don't have any cameras where the Lord is kind of backing away from it. There's no proof, right? It's all you gotta be an Israelite to know. You gotta be in this truth to know, right? That's all I can say. This Psalm chapter 147:1, still going into these things that please the Most High. It reads, "Praise ye the Lord, for it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant and praise is comely." So the Most High is really into that. If you know anything about the Lord, remember he had singing men and singing women, right? David had singing men and singing women and instruments and music, and the Most High is with praising him. That's something the Lord likes, man. Take that into account. The Lord loves being praised, right? He loves being praised. And that's something that pleases the Most High that you may be neglecting. And if that's something that's you're neglecting or that you have to strengthen that's ready to die, we're encouraging you to do so now, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai to examine how often you praise the Most High and how you praise the Lord, man. Is it just thank you, Jesus, and then you tiptoe in the middle of the night, man? After you eat a cookie. God is good, God is great. Let us thank him for our food. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Right? In Jesus' name, amen. Then you freak off, man. The Lord is not that's not that's not it. That's not it, man. Now you can't be content with that. What type of Israelite is content with that? Right? So you want to step your praise up to the Most High too, man. Now you gotta kind of step your praise up to the Lord, right? To Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. Because he said it is a good thing to do these things. So we read that and say, okay, that's a good thing to do. All right, I'm gonna work on that. All right. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and verse 15. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and 15. And again, time is running out, man. Time is running out. We're praying that a missile hits somewhere, Russia, Ukraine, Japan, North Korea, Iran, Israel, South Africa. I mean, things are moving fast. Right? There are chariot sightings every day. Right? Things are happening. Right? This Sirach chapter 39 and verse 15. Magnify his name and show forth his praise with the songs of your lips and with harps, and in praising him ye shall say after this manner. All the works of the Lord are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commanded should be accomplished in due season. Because you may say, well, I don't really know how to praise the Most High. Where do I begin? Right? How do I end? What do I say? Well, the Most High told you what you could say. The Most High told you what you could say. Let's read it again. Sirach 39 and 15. Magnify his name and show forth his praise with the songs of your lips and with harps, and in praising him, ye shall say after this manner. So he's telling you what to say. Sirach 39 and 16. All the works of Yahweh are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commanded shall be accomplished in due season. So he told, now you pretty much have a foundation. You say, well, I don't like that. I want to do my own. Well, the Lord told you what to say. All right. And you praise the Most High, and the Lord is pleased with these things, man. And you get you win favor with the Lord, and the Lord give you that sincere, that clean spirit, and you want to do it, and you get into this thing, man. Right? You get to draw nigh into the Most High. Let's get that in James chapter 4 and verse 8. Right? James chapter 4 and 8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. So you want to draw nigh to the Most High in the last days, right? You want to really push yourself to do what we've been going over tonight, and even more, right? Like the Lord said in Philemon, that you would do more than I say. That's what Philemon told Onesimus. Paul told Philemon about Onesimus, right? So you want to draw nigh to the Most High, he's going to draw nigh to you. The Lord is going to meet you what they call halfway. If you separate from the Most High is separated from you. The Lord don't chase you. Give me the account of the Most High is just upset when you separate from him. He's chasing you. Please come back. Please, I need you. Oh, I need you. Please. The Lord don't do that, man. He's Yahweh. Bashmi Abushad, man. He don't need no man. He's Yahweh. You don't chase man. You don't chase you. You chase him, man. And if you draw nigh to him, he's going to see that he's going to draw nigh into you. Didn't he do that with the prodigal son in Luke 15, where the prodigal son was coming to the father's house, and the father saw him afar off and ran to him and hugged him and embraced him and kissed him? That's how the Father is, man. Let's get that in Luke 15. That's drawing nigh to the Most High through repentance. All right. This Luke chapter 15. And I'm gonna just get straight to the point. And verse 20. It reads, and he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. See that? So you might be a great way off, but at least you're drawing nigh to the Most High. A great way off, meaning you're not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. We're in the flesh, man. We're a great way off, right? We don't have immortal bodies. We don't have the laws in our inward parts, right? We go off every day, so we are a great way off. We repent, but even though we're a great way off, we're still trying to take these steps closer to the Father's house. And the Father sees that, and he gives us compassion. And the Father actually in this parable actually left where he was and ran to him and drew nigh unto him. That's what James chapter 4 is talking about. It's the relationship between a father and a son. You draw nigh to him, he's going to draw nigh to you, right? You cleanse your hands, right? The Most High is going to allow you to come in and eat, man. Right? Let's go back to James chapter 4. Right, let's read that again. Right, actually, let's touch on the latter part of that same precept. James 4 and 8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. So you want to cleanse your hands, meaning not literally cleanse your hands with soap and hand sanitizer. It means your works. So your hands represent your works that you do, right? Your works are literally the actions that you put forth on a day-to-day basis. And if your actions are filthy actions like fornication, drunkenness, idolatry, pride, rebellion, backbiting, slander, slothfulness, and it's all types of mud and stains on your hands, you want to cleanse your hands with the word of the Most High and through repentance. And you clean your spirit, man. And you have righteous works, and you push yourself to be better each day, and draw nigh unto Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Right? That's how you draw nigh to the Most High. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9 and 21. So we're in the process on a day-to-day basis of drawing nigh unto the Lord. Daniel 9 and 21. It reads, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, this is what Daniel said, right? Even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. It's like, let me see if this is what I want. Yeah, come. So the angel came to Gabriel and said, I'm gonna break down this to tell you what's going to happen in the end of the world, right? To give you skill and understanding. Verse 23. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. So, what did the Lord say into Daniel? The Lord told Daniel, for thou art greatly beloved. And you got to meditate on that. Wow, you got to say, wow, what did Daniel do to be a man called greatly beloved? How many men in the Bible are called greatly beloved? Not just loved by the Most High. It says Daniel from Gabriel said, look, I was told that you're a man greatly beloved. So that means Daniel had integrity, honor. What kind of spirit did Daniel have, man? Read Daniel. That should encourage you to read. What did he do? Well, how did he get on that level? Let me read Esther, Susanna. All right, let me read Daniel. Let me see what kind of spirit he had, man. For the Lord to say that about flesh and blood. I mean, he didn't say that about any. There's only two men that I can think of where it says you are beloved, a man beloved, or a man loved. And that's Daniel and John. Right? It says, at the beginning of thy this Daniel 9:23, at the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth. So as soon as Daniel was praying to the Most High, the Lord sent the angel down to him. And I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. That's why these men got these in-depth revelations and visions and wisdom from the Lord, because they were greatly beloved. They were rewarded. And the brother put that precept. This was a good precept. Psalm, 2 Samuel, chapter 22 and 21. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. And that was a good precept right there. Right? So Daniel, it didn't just say he was liked. Most High was kind of filling him. It says greatly beloved. So what are we supposed to do with that knowledge? As we look at that, we know it, and now we read the account of what type of spirit this man had, and we apply it to our life. We see the sacrifice, the faith, the diligence, the consistency. Daniel prayed consistently. Same routine, 3 times a day, despite anything, thrown in a lion's den, had faith, right? I mean, he withstood the king. He was a wise man. There are things that you got to read. Say, look, this man was greatly beloved. I mean, he had a good spirit. He had a clean spirit, right? And Daniel was kind of man outside and in, without spot and without blemish, no? So he was greatly beloved. Let's go to John chapter 13 and 23. So he was doing things that pleased the Most High, for the Lord to attribute that title to him as a man greatly beloved. John chapter 13 and verse 21, right? St. John chapter 13 and 21. When Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Now, this is the night of the Passover. He said, look, one of y'all 12 are going to betray me, right? Verse 22. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. So they're trying to figure out who's that person going to be. Verse 23. Here's the point. Now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples whom Yahushua loved. So hold on now. Out of all of the 12, one of the apostles is called the apostle or disciple that Yahushua loved. Does that mean Yahushua didn't love Peter? No. Does that mean he didn't love Andrew or James, which was his actual blood brother, and Jude, his actual blood brother? No, it don't mean he didn't love. He loved all his apostles. But why is John being called the disciple whom Yahweh Shai loved? Due to the relationship they had, due to the spirit that John had, man. John and Yahweh Shai had a relationship like this. They were close, man. Best friends, if you can understand. Now, Peter and Yahweh Shai was close, right? And Peter was the top of the church, but Yahweh Shai and John had a very special relationship, man. Even in John chapter 20, you can see that in the spirit, because I'm going to read it. This is John chapter 20 and verse 2. It reads, then she, meaning Mary, then she runneth to come to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Yahweh Shai loved, and saith unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him. Right? So Mary Magdalene came and told Peter and John that they took away Yahweh Shai. We can't find him. Look at what happened. Verse 3, John chapter 20 and 3. Peter therefore went forth, and that other disciple, which is John, and came to the sepulchre. So they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre. So why did John outrun Peter and come first to Yahweh Shai's sepulchre? Is that because John was more in shape? Is it because John ran 5Ks all day and marathons? How did John outrun Peter? Is it because John had a particular diet and he was a vegan? No. John outran Peter because man's goings are of the Lord. That's why he outran Peter. Not because of flesh and blood. Not because of speed and acceleration. And John had sneakers on and Peter had sandals on, and it's just the will of Yahweh. Man's goings of the Lord. The Lord wanted John to get there first, because him and Yahweh Shai was like this in the spirit. Right? Now let's read on. Verse 4. Again, so they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre. And he, stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in. So John is kind of looking. He see the linen clothes, but he's not going in. Right? Reading on. Then cometh Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeth the linen clothes lie. So Peter had a bold spirit, and Peter went in. John didn't go in, although he went first. Peter had a bolder spirit for the Lord. Right? To a certain extent, it went in. Right? And 24 times said John was first to the Lord, that he was the last to die. Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. Right? Now, John was the last one to die, right? On the Isle of Patmos. So they had a different relationship. Right? He said, if I will that he tarry till I come, what is that unto thee? Paraphrase, that's what he told Peter. So John is called the disciple whom Yahweh Shai loved. Now, do you think the Lord says that about you? Would the Lord say that about me? That's my servant that I love. If somebody was writing an account of your life, and the Lord gave them a vision of a step-by-step of your life, and they had a pen and a pad, would the Lord make that person write that brother so-and-so, that's one of my servants whom I love? Or is he going to say, this brother, he's lukewarm? Is the Lord on the verge of just blotting you out the book of life? Or are you a disciple whom the Lord loves, man? Right? Nobody knows the mind of the Lord. But that's why we have to be diligent to make our calling and election sure. Right? That's why we have to take these accounts into consideration. We have to go above and beyond. Like I said, bitterness truth is not just getting on the Edomites. It's not just reading Isaiah 14 and 21 all day. Right? It's not just talking about, I'm looking for a wife. Right? It's not just knowing the in-depth breakdowns. It's not just simply just having fringes and the beard on. You have to be exceptional. You have to be the above average. You want to achieve the mastery. You want the Lord to look at you how he looked at Job and say, this man is, he told Satan, have you considered my servant Job? That there is none like him in the earth. A perfect, it's like an upright man. One that feareth God and escheweth evil. That's how the Lord looked at Job. Job didn't hear none of those words, man. He didn't hear nothing like that from the Lord. The Lord told us that about Job, but Job never heard those words ever. Job didn't read the book of Job. He wasn't up there when that conversation transpired. The Lord told us about that man. And that's how Job lived his life. What conversation is the Lord having in the third heaven about you? That's something to consider, right? You're never going to know, but you can do the works through faith that our fathers did, that walked in the same flesh and blood and strive for the mastery. And I'm going to actually get that precept in Job, right? This is Job chapter 1 and verse 1. Actually, I'm going to jump, 1 and 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. That man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. See that? That man feared the Most High and he eschewed evil. Certain of our forefathers on a different level, right? And rightfully so, right? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 14. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse, I want 20, right? I'm going to start at 14. I'm going to start at 13, Salakia. Ezekiel 14 and 13. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and I will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So he said, when they sin, I'm going to judge it, right? Verse 14, here's the point. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, said the Lord God. So hold on. How come in the book of Ezekiel, it's the Lord mentioning Noah, Daniel, and Job? Because these men were on a different level. They was on a different level. The Lord said, even if Daniel, Job, and Noah have families and sons and daughters at this time, I'm only saving people by their own righteousness. I'm not saving everybody else. That's what he's saying. See, back then, Noah, he made it out, and his wife and his sons and their wives made it out. But it only says Noah found grace in the Lord, right? The Lord is telling you in Ezekiel, guess what? If Noah, Daniel, and Job were at that time, only they could deliver their own soul. Meaning, even if they have family and cousins, hey, look, they can't make it. So these men had what you call an honorable mention, right? They're still mentioned in other books in the Bible about their righteousness, man. Long after their life. Noah, this thousands of years ago, right? From the time of Ezekiel, man. Daniel, kind of contemporary, some of Ezekiel, roughly. Daniel a little bit before, but kind of contemporaries. They lived around the same time, right? And Job, that's way back when, right? Way back when. Let's go to the book of Luke 1 and 28, right? I got about 3 more. I'm going to wind down. Luke chapter 1 and verse 28. Now, I kind of brought this out earlier. Luke 1 and 28. And the angel came in unto her. So this angel is Gabriel, and he came unto Mary, right? The mother of our Lord. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. You see that? So you had the angel Gabriel, right? Salakia, right? Spirits Right? You got spirits. It's a lot of spirits trying to take away the word, right? Nevertheless, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. The Most High said, what? Hail, thou art highly favored. And this is an Israelite woman. Huh? It's a daughter of Zion. And if you're a sister watching this, you should want those same words spoken of you by the angels in heaven. If the angel were coming to you, again, like I brought out earlier, do you think they're going to say you're highly favored? Or what are they going to say, man? Are they going to say that you're slothful? Are they going to say that you all you do is just do God knows what in the dark? You're lusting after other men. What are they saying about you? It says highly favored, and the Lord is with you. Because Mary was on fire, man. See, people just say, okay, well, Mary, okay, she gave birth to Yahushua, okay, and that was it. No, Mary was diligent. Her husband, Joseph, was a just man. I tell you, Joseph was a just man. And not willing to put her away, man. You know? He didn't want to make her an example. Joseph was a just man that had integrity and honor. His wife was the same way. Mary was a diligent woman, man. Zealous woman. She wasn't just favored, she was highly favored. For you to be the mother, to be chosen, to give birth unto the Lord, I mean, what else, man? Now we know Yahushua said, what they said, blessed is the paps that gave thee suck. Yahushua said, no, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. We know that. But for you to be chosen to give birth to Yahushua, you're not just a regular person. You're not just a run-of-the-mill kind of Israelite woman, huh? Right? To have a son at that, and to your son, your firstborn son, and she had many other children. So it's not like she just gave birth to Yahushua. No, Yahushua had brothers. Right? Yahushua had Jude. He had Joseph. He had Simon. And he had James. Right? So he had brothers too, and he had sisters. So she had a lot of children. It don't even tell you how many sisters Yahushua had, man. Just say he had sisters. And they're not even mentioned by name. So we don't know how many children Mary and Joseph had. But her firstborn son is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And she was highly favored because of what? Of the election and the works that she had, man. We don't know her prayer life. We don't know what kind of spirit she had, but we know it was a beautiful elected spirit by the Most High. All right, let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8. Right, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 52. This is what the Lord told Ezra. For unto you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. So the Lord told Ezra, you're going to get the kingdom. He told him straight up. He said the tree of life is for you. He told Ezra that you made it. You made it already. Now, the Lord didn't come to us and tell us that. Now you can say, well, no, the Lord did tell me that. Okay, well, if the Lord told you that, hey, all praise to the Most High, man. Right? I haven't met anybody where the Lord came to him and said, hey, look, you already made it to the kingdom. You're going to get the tree of life. It's already planted for you. The kingdom is built for you. A city is builded. Perfect good rest and wisdom. Right? The Lord did Ezra. For you to be on a level, for the Lord to tell you that, you know he was pleasing the Most High. Read the book of Ezra. See his diligence, man. His zeal for the Lord. His faith. The effort he put. Remember, all these people that we're reading about, they went above and beyond. They weren't bare minimum Israelites, man. With their hands in their pockets, just waiting for something to go down. Waiting for somebody to just tell them what to do. Oh, okay, well, you want me to read? Okay, I'll read. No, they were willingly going above and beyond. He told Ezra the tree of life is here for you. Let's read on. Verse 54, 2nd Ezra 8 and 54. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality. And therefore, ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. Right? Now I'm going to jump down to verse, bear with me. Let's jump down to 61. Tulaki, let's see what I want. Right, bear with me. Yeah, actually, I want to read down. Right, 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and 55. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down the righteous and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and knowing they must die. So the Lord told them straight up, hey, look, these people ain't going to make it. All right? Reading on. Verse 62, I'm jumping down. These things, listen to what the Lord told Ezra. 2nd Ezra 8 and 62. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, you see that? So the Most High told Ezra, hey, look, I showed these things to you and a few people like you, man. We want to be the few people like Ezra, right? The daughters of Zion should be the few people like Mary, Esther, and Judah. Look at what they did that pleased the Most High. Read these accounts. Apply their works to your life. Examine yourself. See where you're coming up short, because time is ticking. And the Lord demands perfection. And we went into different accounts of what our fathers did that pleased the Most High. They walked uprightly. They walked with integrity. Their speech was pure. Their thoughts were pure, and they willingly served Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua, Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yashah. Shalom.